Phil Hellmuth is looking down on pocket nines. He is mostly up against celebrities, but even in those situations, people find ways to make him tilt, and MrBeast won't be an exception.
Now he picks up the hand that won him his first World Series of Poker main event.
As we could have all expected, having amateurs on the table doesn't make things go fast, and people are more likely to play with random hands, as we can see by the many limpers. Slime takes things into his own hands, though, and raises to $2,400. That gets snap called by MrBeast, and after some weird shenanigans from XQC, 3 betted by him with ace deuce offsuit.
MrBeast with 150 in front of him, so
$1.3 million retail, like 450 in inventory. The what? What? I just told the story like 3 times.
He lost a shit ton of money by tweeting out, "I'm gonna give people free chocolate who like this tweet."
Oh yeah.
Now we can observe XQC looking for the jack somewhere below the table, but as he can't find it, he decides to check, which is followed by a unison check around the table until MrBeast does this.
Well, you're right, 10,000.
I don't know what MrBeast has, but based on what else everybody else has.
Let me know in the comments, what is your guess for MrBeast's cards?
Phil's gonna call anyway with nines. Not a believer.
The turn brings the 8 of diamonds, which I don't really know how to feel about. Not knowing MrBeast's cards, he might have a straight or a flush draw, and I bet Phil Hellmuth is getting more and more heated with those pocket nines. After you see Phil Hellmuth's blow up, make sure to rate it in the comments from 1 to 10 of how crazy it was on the Brat scale.
He has probably something good, and he wants me to bet. But I kind of want him to bet as well, so it's fine.
What's your call and you bet?
25.
Do you make 2 pair? 10-3?
All right, that call.
Okay. I mean, I have queens. You probably have a king.
You got a queen? You got me.
Yeah.
Queen of hearts, 5 of hearts.
It's like impossible that I could ever be losing in this game. The man just bet a queen
So you
5.
did it for a living?
I called 5,000 under the fucking gun. I got to have 9s or above, and he bet a queen 5 for value on the river.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on 8-6 suited. Calacanis opens to $1,200 with pocket 7s. That raise is standard from middle position. It folds out trash and plays well post-flop. Negreanu flats with 8-6 of diamonds. He is not calling to hit a pair. He is buying position, playability, and high equity boards. This texture massively improves the caller's range relative to the raiser. The pre-flop opener still has all the overpairs, but the callers capture the lion's share of the strong draws and 2-pair straight candidates. Negreanu's exact hand is near perfect. He leads $2,500 into 2 opponents, a small but purposeful stab that pressures ace-high and pocket 8s through 10s, while charging draws that he blocks and dominates.
Got a little some of that.
This card flips equity on its head. Calacanis spikes a set, but Negreanu's straight also arrives. Importantly, the new straight is very available from the caller's range. Any 6 often peels the flop, so Calacanis' set is strong but not invulnerable. Negreanu bets $7,000. That sizing accomplishes 2 things. First, it prints value immediately against 1-pair overpairs that do not believe, and against sets that fear raising into a straight. Second, it continues to charge diamond draws that are now drawing thin versus a made straight. From a range standpoint, the flat is telling. He is unlikely to have an overpair without redraws to a full house that wants protection. The board pairs. Full houses become possible and, in fact, Calacanis improves from a set to 7s full of 4s. Negreanu's straight loses equity versus the portion of Calacanis' range that slow played the turn with boats in mind. But many worse hands still exist.
This is reminiscent of a typical hand for Daniel Negreanu. Let's have the nuts with a redraw and see what happens. Let's pair the board, yeah. God, really? No, gotta be kidding me.
Guess that means you don't have the jack 9 this time.
No, I had the nuts with a redraw. What'd you make it? How much?
35 more. Only 35 more.
Only 35 more. Why?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
What did you have? Like, you don't have a set, right? Because you would have raised me.
Yeah, I would have raised it the set. I could have flopped a straight.
Could have flopped straight. Okay, I can beat that. Whew.
I could be on a flush draw. Could be busted.
Yeah, that's true too. 4s and 5s. No, I think you raised
Could
me.
have quads.
Yeah, you could have that too.
Could have aces and just be overplaying them.
I was gonna fold for sure, and now I'm thinking about calling you. So you're doing a good job if that's what you want.
Now I'm gonna be quiet and pretend that's not what I want. Tip the dealer $1,000. I will show it to you. You have to split it with the other dealer.
Oh, guarantee.
That's a good deal.
So, $1,000, you know what I have. You don't have to live and wait till the end of the.
There's the call.
Sorry, not in the hand.
He called it. He said it.
Doyle Brunson is looking down at 10-deuce offsuit. Pre-flop begins with a classic confrontation between the raw enthusiasm of a loose cannon and the legendary psychological dominance of the Doyle Brunson. The action starts with Davis, waking up with pocket sixes. In a standard game, this is a solid hand to open, and he raises to 1,200. However,
Raise the pot.
Doyle Brunson is not a standard opponent. Sitting in position, Doyle looks down at his iconic signature hand, 10-deuce offsuit. While this is statistically one of the worst hands in Hold'em, it is the hand Doyle used to win back-to-back world championships, and he uses it as a psychological weapon. Doyle executes a 3-bet to 4,400. This move is pure theater. Doyle is weaponizing his image to test the amateur's resolve.
What you got approximately?
Oh, now you sound like an internet player.
No, not just approximately. That's good. I can
50,
see.
55, 60.
I'm all in.
Doyle's all in.
Wow.
Fire up the TiVo. It's the Doyle Show.
Doyle Brunson poker, baby.
Will folds.
You said it.
Doyle shows the Brunson.
Oh, no.
You just can't help it with that hand. Doyle just can't help it. This is Doyle's hand, right here.
It's very loose with my money.
It's a world champ.
I know his hand.
I've never heard you say that before. How much you playing over there?
I don't, and that's, you're right. I never say that.
That's the first time I've ever heard you do
I
that.
couldn't see. You know why? It's because
Couldn't see the
I can't
grays.
see back there.
Sorry.
And they're, it's hard to distinguish the color.
So apparently the loose cannon is sitting right here.
No, I've never asked anybody that, and I've never counted my chips down for anybody.
You know, the kids today, like, how much do you have exactly? You got like 380,000 or something. What, are you being serious?
I just tell them that there they are. If you want the dealer
Yeah.
to count them, well, okay, but I'm not going to count them.
Tony G is looking down at Jack-9 offsuit.
I regret it every single time.
Round of straddles is on.
5.
Raise to 5. Perfect.
Pre-flop begins with a fascinating clash between two distinct generations of poker aggression. Ethan Rampage Yao, the face of the modern poker vlogging era,
And of course, the 2K ante, the straddle gets an incredible price here.
Super Pro. Against the Super Pro.
However, the legendary Tony G, sitting in the straddle, is not a player who enjoys folding his territory. The flop falls an absolute statistical disaster for the veteran. Both players have flopped tripjacks, but the hierarchy is brutal. Rampage holds the king kicker, giving him a massive advantage, while Tony is the victim of a classic kicker trap with his 9. Tony G checks, adhering to a deceptive defensive line. Rampage fires a small continuation bet of 3,000 meant to induce action. Tony, sensing that Rampage might be continuation betting with air, executes a raise to 8,000. This is where the hand enters a high-level clickback war. Rampage, realizing he has the better trips and wanting to define the kickers immediately, 3-bets the flop to 25,000. Tony G, stubborn as ever and refusing to believe he is outkicked on the very first street, makes the call. The turn brings a complete brick. However, the psychology shifts as Tony G decides to seize the initiative. Instead of checking to the 3-better, Tony leads out with a donk bet for 25,000. This is a pure Tony G maneuver. He is trying to set the price or represent that he was trapping with a full house on the flop. He wants to confuse Rampage's mental model of the hand. The river is the queen, a card that puts a potential straight in play, but doesn't change the fact that both players hold trips. Tony G, having led the turn and been called, suddenly hits the brakes and checks. This is the moment Rampage has been waiting for. He realizes that Tony is likely in bluff catch mode and decides to go for maximum value. He fires a massive overbet of 110,000.
Ace king again.
He is putting Tony G to the ultimate test, asking him if his tripjacks are worth a 6-figure investment. Tony G goes into the tank, his ego battling his logic. He has called every street and led the turn, and now facing a massive river bet, he talks himself into the idea that Rampage is at it with a missed straight draw or a weaker jack.
I raised 5-3. Queen.
And he's going to get paid off. Rampage here. Trips over trips.
Jack, yeah.
Helppi is looking down at ace-king suited. Pre-flop, this is the classic Finland on Finland friendly fire set up as a quiet cooler. Helppi opens absolutely standard with stacks this deep. Sointula finds pocket aces in late position and 3-bets to 12,000, also totally routine. He wants value from all the big Broadway hands and pocket pairs that will hate folding pre-flop. Helppi just calls, which is fine and probably best. 4-betting turns his hand face up and lets Sointula play perfectly. Flatting keeps Sointula's entire 3-bet range in, disguises the suited monster, and sets up a lot of future boards where Helppi can either represent big strength or actually have it. The flop comes a dream and a nightmare at the same time. Helppi's check is really good, his hand doesn't need protection, and he wants to give Sointula every chance to c-bet with overpairs or bluffs. The turn only makes things worse for aces. Helppi is still sitting on the stone nuts and checks again, continuing with his failed attempt to trap. Sointula's second check is basically him resigning to showdown mode. He beats all the bluffs but is drawing dead versus any club. Helppi finally reaches for chips and chooses 6,000. A classic please pay me sizing. It is small enough that aces without a club feel priced in, but big enough to matter. From Sointula's seat, this is actually a very foldable spot. He holds no club, the line never looks like a bluff, and Helppi's range has far more club combinations than his. But when you start the hand with aces, it is hard to hit the brakes on the river for such a small amount.
Pre-flop you have.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 7-4 suited. Pre-flop initiates a classic confrontation between the godfather of poker Doyle Brunson and the master of the modern era, Negreanu. The action begins with Barry opening the pot, but the real narrative starts when Negreanu decides to flat call holding 7-4 of clubs. This is a quintessential Negreanu move. He is playing a speculative, suited hand for its implied odds, banking on his ability to navigate post-flop streets and outmaneuver his opponents if he connects.
66 is the total, right? So I owe 52, right?
I just wanted to put Barry on tilt.
I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood too.
You're in the mood. You bought another 100, right? I got something to win if I hit.
Daniel calls.
It was no surprise that the two guys I was against came after me the next hand.
The flop falls a texture that is deceptively dangerous for both players. For Brunson, his pocket aces remain a dominant overpair, though the paired board introduces the theoretical threat of a 10. For Negreanu, he has flopped a pair of 7s, which on this specific board acts as a treacherous middle pair. Brunson, sticking to his aggressive power poker philosophy, fires a heavy continuation bet of 18,000. He is testing Negreanu, essentially asking if he has the 10 or if he is willing to lose it all with a smaller pair. Negreanu, known for being incredibly sticky when he feels his opponent might be overrepresenting big cards like ace-king or ace-queen, makes the call. He is convinced that Brunson's bet could easily be a standard positional stab, and his pair of 7s feels like a sufficient bluff catcher at this stage. The turn brings the 5, a card that structurally changes very little but accelerates the psychological warfare. Brunson, sensing that Negreanu is not going to fold to a standard bet,
Guess I just got enough for one bet.
Doyle shoves.
Every time I watch, Doyle always has kings.
Close.
Doyle always has kings. I don't feel like you have kings, though.
You are 100% correct.
Could be drawing completely dead, right, if you have a 10?
Daniel's not drawing dead, but it's more likely your marriage will end in divorce than Daniel will catch up here.
Got the Doyle Brunson hand, the 10 deuce. Some smells about this hand.
Look, I think Russ smells it too.
Everything leads me to believe that I should never fold here for some stupid reason. I like Doyle either way, right? So if I win the money, I'll be happy because I've won. And if I lose, it goes to a good guy. It's like a win-win situation. The only thing I can do would be bad is fold, get bluffed, feel stupid. So I'll just call it.
Daniel calls.
You got anything? Oh, that's good. Yeah, I still have a 7. Okay. I have 2 outs.
No, just one. Justin folded a 7.
You'll deal once or twice or 3
I do
times?
twice. It's
Whatever
fine.
you want. I don't care.
2 is good for me.
All right. Deal it twice. Maybe we can split it. Maybe I'll get a split.
Maybe you'll get a split. And you get a lot of big pairs. I was thinking, how many can you get?
The first run for half is a queen.
The 6 tray last time.
What's that?
That blocky last time.
Brunson wins the first run worth nearly 112 grand.
Apparently Daniel had me beat.
Second run is a king.
Oops.
Nice hand.